Counting blessings, learning lesson got me feeling special. Spending money, mama said, hope the Lord bless you. Everything I ever wanted, had to pray for. Anything I did wrong, had to pay for. I'll do it all again just to make you smile. Born angel. Now some of us, we born with a good heart. So that's what I mean by born angel. So, you know that person that go out their way to help people, even when they need help themselves. This story is about Wiley. Now, Wiley was a ventriloquist. And y'all should know what that is. But if you don't, type it in the comments. Somebody will tell you or I'll tell you. But let's go on with this story. Wiley was a ventriloquist and he was homeless. But that didn't bother Wiley at all. You know, Wiley had a good heart. So Wiley would put on these shows as a ventriloquist. He had his dolls and he put on these shows and put his cup out and people would tip Wiley. And he would put on a great show about being homeless, how people look over the homeless like they are not there, like they deserve their situation, not knowing how these people became homeless. And his show would be about how people became homeless, far as sickness, people being SA'd and running away from that situation. And they would rather be homeless than to be home. You never know why people are homeless. They might fell on hard times. Their family could have been on drugs. So many things and so many reasons can put people in those situations. But, like I say, Wiley will put on these shows. So, as a ventriloquist, sometimes he'll do free shows at the homeless shelters, senior citizen homes. And like I say, he would do these shows for free, but the shows on the street, he would bring out his tip jar. So Wiley was doing that 3 times a week, even though he didn't have to do that. He was doing that out the kindness of his heart. Back to the name of the video, he was a born angel. So Wiley also used to visit a sick kid who had cancer, and he would go see him 2 to 3 times a week and put on a show with his puppet, you know, to make the little boy feel good. Didn't have to do that, but Wiley would do that out the kindness of his heart because he was a born angel. So other people that were homeless around the neighborhood, Wiley would help them out with his earnings from his shows with his puppets. So one person, well, it was 2 people actually, they asked him, why you gonna help me with food when You barely have any food. Wiley would say, you hungry, ain't you? So that's all he worried about. When a lot of people would be like, well, I need to ration this food out because I might not have none tomorrow. Wiley wasn't that type of person. He was a born angel. So Wiley would try to teach people to value themselves even though they was homeless. So one day he was trying to teach this lady to value herself, one of the homeless people in the neighborhood, and she was going through a hard time. I guess she was tired of being homeless, so she went into a liquor store and tried to rob the liquor store, and the owner of the liquor store discharged his firearm and hit her in the body. And Wiley went to her and, said a prayer for her. And he said he wished that she knew her value, she knew her worth, but she really didn't. So as she waiting for help, Wiley kept saying the ambulance is on his way. And she was saying, Wiley, no need. And she passed away. That hurt Wiley so much because he just wanted her to be a better person and get her life right. But sadly, she passed away before the ambulance can get there. So later on that week, the little boy that Wiley would go see, he started getting way more sick than he was. So instead of the 3 days, he went for an extra 2 days. And his homies was like, didn't you just go yesterday? He said, no, but he's sick, so I need to go, make him feel better. So he went to take his puppets and did his ventriloquist thing and tried to make him feel better. But that little boy wound up going into a coma. The doctors, they did not think he was going to make it, so they told Wiley he couldn't see him because he wasn't family. So Wiley asked the parents of the little boy, can he go see him? And they know how the little boy felt about Wiley, so they let him see Wiley. But the little boy stayed in a coma. So Wiley said a prayer, please God, let me take his place, take me. I'm older, this little boy is just beginning to see life. So he said that prayer and he left. So never one of Wiley's friends was in a situation to come. Wiley said to God that he wanted to take the place of the little boy. So as he went back to the neighborhood, an armed gunman went back to that same liquor store and went to rob the liquor store. But Wiley's friend from the neighborhood, another homeless guy that was blind, was in there. So Wiley went in there when nobody would and tried to help the guy. So as he trying to help the guy, the gun went off. Wiley was hit. So Wiley was definitely hurt and he had to wait for the ambulance. So as he waiting for the ambulance, Wiley started to, let's say, lose his life. So when the ambulance get there, Wiley was put on a stretcher, put in the back of the ambulance. Wiley seen an angel, and the angel said, "You're gonna get your wish that you prayed for." And Wiley flatlined. So he passed away. Mind you, the wish was take the place of the little boy. So as he passed away, the little boy came out the coma. And he survived. His cancer was gone. He was able to live his life the way that Wiley prayed for. But God seen everything that Wiley did for people. Wiley even had a lady that was homeless that he was friends with, and she was essayed by her own dad. And she was going through a lot on the streets. And then she got real sick. Wiley, instead of getting him a place to live, he took the money that he was earning from being a ventriloquist, and he took that money and put her in a home. And one of his friends asked him, "If you got enough money to put her in a home, why you ain't got enough money, to find you somewhere to live?" He said he could if he didn't pay for her care in a home. But he knew she couldn't handle it no more on the street, so he'd rather be on the streets himself and sacrifice his well-being for her. And that's what you call a born angel. So as Wiley died and the little boy came out the coma and was able to live, he visited the little boy, and Wiley became an angel and brought his main doll that he used for his shows and gave it to the little boy, and Wiley became an angel. But Wiley always been an angel. God noticed that and made him an angel. But that's all I got for y'all today. If anybody you know that took care of the homeless or did any good deeds, always been a good person, write their name in the comments and put the hashtag Born Angel beside their name. But until next time, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed. Always stay safe. Peace.